Thank you, Marilyn, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to serve as the president of Ball State University, and it is my honor and my pleasure to welcome you, the class of 2021. So as the provost said, this is an important day. This is an important day for you, and it is also an important day for all of us. That's one of the reasons why we've dressed up in traditional academic regalia. This ceremonial ritual is designed to impress upon you that today is a serious occasion. You are about to embark on a journey, on the quest for knowledge and for a greater understanding of the human condition. It is a quest for truth. Another reason that we take the time to put on these robes and these unusual hats is to remind us of our obligation to educate, and we hope to inspire you. Here at this university, we take this responsibility seriously. Now, I suspect and I hope that the next time you'll see us dressed up in academic regalia will be at your commencement, when we hand you the diploma that you have earned through your hard work, through determination and persistence. And that goal, that overarching objective, is what I want to talk for just a few minutes, what I want to talk about for just a few minutes this afternoon. And I want to make 3 points. First, you've been admitted to Ball State because we are confident. We are confident that you have the ability to succeed here. You have the intelligence and the drive to graduate in 4 years. Second, all of the faculty and staff, there are hundreds of them, thousands of faculty and staff, we are all committed to helping you achieve this goal. That is why we're here. And then third, on your path from orientation to commencement, you'll have the opportunity to help other students succeed. You should embrace this opportunity. It's not a burden, it's a blessing. And I want to illustrate these points by referring to 2 books that I read some time ago. The first book is called The Paper Chase. It was written in the 1970s. It's a novel about first-year law students at Harvard University. It was so popular at that time, it was made into a very successful movie. And when I went to law school in the 1980s, every law student that I knew had either read the book, seen the movie, or both. And there are many good scenes in the movie. There are a couple very memorable ones. For example, the movie begins with a scene from the first day of class. And there was a gruff, sarcastic professor. His name was Professor Kingsfield. He interrogates an unprepared student so harshly that after the class is over, the student runs from the class into a bathroom, into a stall, and gets sick to his stomach. A few weeks later, in another scene in the same class, the student, young man named Mr. Hart, says something inappropriate in response to a question, something snarky to Professor Kingsfield. Professor didn't take it too well. The professor standing at the podium summons Mr. Hart down from the class in a large lecture hall, probably about 100 students or more. He summons him to the front of the class, and when he gets to the podium, the professor hands him a dime. That's what we used to use back in the day when you had to make a phone call. Hands him a dime and says, "Mr. Hart, take this dime, call your mother, tell her that you are not going to become a lawyer." Now, although this book and the movie were just fiction, the culture and the environment that they depict at Harvard Law School and some other institutions are grounded in some reality. At the orientation at Harvard Law School, at a program just like this for first-year students, the dean would stand at a podium just like this and tell these new students, people just like you, look to your left, look to your right, one of the 3 of you will not even be in this school next year. The message was that the program was so rigorous, and perhaps unnecessarily so, that 1 out of every 3 students would flunk out after the first year. And the dean was proud of that fact. Well, I share that with you because that is not the reputation that we cherish at Ball State. To the contrary, we are committed to the success of all of our students, to all of you. Our academic programs, yes, they are rigorous. They are demanding. And I certainly expect that we will challenge you to exceed even your own expectations as you sit here today. But you would not be here if we were not completely confident and proud of the fact that you can succeed. There are hundreds of faculty and staff, as I said a moment ago, who are professionally and personally dedicated to your success. We measure our success by your success. The second book is a nonfiction book called Into Thin Air. It's a nonfiction account about a group of men who attempted to climb Mount Everest in the 1990s. And as they approached the summit of the tallest mountain on Earth, they were overwhelmed by a tremendous snowstorm. And the book, as I say, a nonfiction book, it recounts their extraordinary efforts to survive. Some lived, 8 died. Failure and, yes, even death are not uncommon on Mount Everest. In fact, every year, several hundred people try to climb to the summit, but only about 30% of them succeed. That means for every 100 people who set out to climb to the top of Mount Everest, only about 30 of them actually make it. And many people who attempt to reach the top of Mount Everest don't even survive the attempt. Here's another sobering statistic now. For every 100 people who attempt to climb Mount Everest, 2 or 3 people die trying. And some years are even worse than others. For example, in 2015, just 2 years ago, 18 people that year died climbing Mount Everest. The last few thousand feet of the climb is called the dead zone. The air is so thin and the oxygen is so scarce at that altitude that it's extremely difficult to survive at that altitude for very long. So the climbers, if you're going to make it, you have to ascend to the top and then descend very quickly. If you don't get up and down through that treacherous stretch, if you don't get up and down quickly enough, you'll die. Here's a more sobering point. The climb is so dangerous that some climbers will pass by other people who are struggling to survive. Rather than help the people who are on the brink of death, these climbers will keep going in order to achieve their own dream, even though their ambitions prevent them from saving the life of another human being. But not everyone who attempts to climb the tall mountain is so consumed by that ambition. For example, in 2001, an expedition led by Eric Simonson abandoned their goal in order to save the lives of a group of stranded climbers. Although that team failed to reach their initial and ultimate objective, they appropriately received international acclaim for their heroic efforts. So by now, you're probably asking yourself, why is he telling us this? And here's why. During the next 4 years, some of the students in this auditorium today will need help, and they'll need your help. And you will be faced with a choice. You'll be faced with a choice. Do I ignore their needs so that I can focus on my own personal goal? Or do I provide them with some support, with some assistance, with some encouragement? And so I say to you, on your personal goals here at Ball State and then during the rest of your lives, what choice will you make? What choice will you make? The decision to help another student, though, will not compromise your ability to succeed. And here's some advice. To the contrary, it won't compromise your ability to succeed. That service, that help that you provide to others will increase your chances of success. As I said at the beginning, helping others in life is not a burden. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to you, to those who provide that service. So if I were to ask you today to look to your left and to look to your right, I would urge you to say to your neighbor, let's travel this journey together. Together. One final... Oh. I didn't expect that. One final thought. As you pursue your professional aspirations after you graduate, you will continue to realize that serving other people ensures that you will have not just a successful career, yes, you will, but it will also ensure that you lead a meaningful life. And so please share your good fortune. Please share your good fortune with others who need you. Good luck. Thank you.